Welcome to the One Star Weak Foot Show, your one-stop shop for player reviews, starring your host, One Star Weak Foot, and our review specialist, One Star Weak Foot. Good afternoon, and welcome back to the One Star Weak Foot Show. I'm going to be your host today, One Star Weak Foot, and it's just great to see you back on the channel today. As you guys know, I've been working through these icon swaps reviews, and today we're going to focus on this one French midfield beast. His name's going to be Laurent Blanc, all right? So, when you look at this card, he looks like a very meta card, a very well-rounded card, a card you can play in multiple positions, and he's one of my favorite cards on FIFA every single year. 2 years ago and last year, I think he was the first icon I ended up buying for my squad, for the Weekend League squad. So, there is a bit of history here. There is a bit of emotional connection here. Let's look at this card, all right? So he's 6'4". He has the medium-high work rates. He's right-footed. He has a 3-star weak foot with 2-star skill moves. I played 5 games in division rivals with him. I got 0 goals and 0 assists. And before we go any further, if you're enjoying the content, as always, please do me a favor and hit the like button down below. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all of you guys, every single one of you guys at home, for watching this review. So let's look at this card a little bit closer, all right? When you look at this card, he brings a lot of unique qualities to your team, all right? And it's not only the fact that he's 6'4", but he also has 83 pace with 85 acceleration. That looks to be massive in the CDM position. His shooting stats are also a very unique thing. He has 86 finishing. What other CDM or CM on this game do you know that has this kind of finishing? Most of them are really, really expensive. The rest of his shooting stats are very decent. He also has 89 penalties, so if you do need a penalty taker, this guy might be your man. His passing stats on the card don't look that good. I mean, on the face stat, 75 passing is not too crazy, but his important passing stats are good. He has 86 short passing, 84 long passing with 74 vision. His dribbling stats are another thing that makes him unique. Is there any other card you know on the game that's 6'4" that has these kind of stats with also 80 agility? I can't really think of any off the top of my head. He also has 82 reactions, 87 ball control, 84 dribbling. Those stats are very, very nice. His defending stats actually aren't too good when you look at them on paper. But my experience with this Blanc card is that every single year I've used him, he's always played above his stats in game. I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm expecting he'll be the same this year. His physical stats are decent, all right? 86 stamina is just about the bare minimum you want out of a midfielder. His jumping at 80 is good considering that he is 6'4". His strength at 77, I'm not too worried about because he is a very big player in game. So, without further ado, we're gonna jump into the gameplay. I'm gonna transfer you over to the studio to our review specialist, One Star Weak Foot. Take it away. Thanks, One Star. So, you guys at home might be wondering, is this Laurent Blanc card worth 14 icon swaps? I would have to say absolutely. I think he's actually one of the best values in this icon swap set. Is he worth 700,000 coins on the market? I mean, if he was a non-icon card, I would say no, but the fact that he does have the icon links, and when you compare him to other icon midfielders in this price range, I think he does compare favorably to them. So I do think 700,000 coins is not a bad value for this card at all. But hold up, let me break down the stats so you know exactly what to expect at home. So 83 pace, how does it feel in game? And it's a bit funny, right? When I had him, when I bought him off the market, he had an anchor chem style on him. And when I was using him with the anchor chem style, he felt a bit heavy, a bit clunky. So I decided to throw a guardian chem style on him, which doesn't affect his pace at all, but it does increase his agility by quite a lot. And in game, that guardian chem style really, really helped him. He felt very quick. And he does cover a massive amount of ground. It's actually crazy. To have this guy in your midfielder tracking up and down the pitch is crazy because he's 6'4". He takes very long strides. He has the pace. This guy is very, very quick in game. He covers a lot of ground. And he does have a lot of speed when it comes to closing other offensive players down. So overall, I gotta give this guy's pace an 8.5 out of 10. He's one of the quickest CDMs I've used on this game. Next, we're going to talk about this card shooting, all right? Because one of the things you might be bringing Blanc into your team to do is shoot the ball. Maybe you want to play him next to a more defensive CDM, and he'll be the guy that pushes up and finishes chances. And in-game, I actually didn't get to test his shooting that much. I took a few shots with him, But at the end of the day, he has 86 finishing. He will be able to finish his breakfast if you get him into the right spot. The fact that he has 80 long shots is important because the long shot stat actually matters nowadays. So if you get him in a long shot position, he should be able to finish his breakfast as long as you time it properly. His attack positioning at 79 was decent. I mean, he did make some nice late runs into the box, but it wasn't anything special. Overall, I gotta give this guy shooting an 8 out of 10. There's no other CDM, I think, on this game that can shoot like him unless you're spending millions and millions of coins. Next, we're gonna talk about his passing, all right? Because this might be a questionable thing about this card. This might be a thing that you might be worried about when you're bringing in Blanc to your team, because 75 passing, like I said, does not look horribly impressive when you look at it on paper. But he does have the important stats, like I said, so I found him to be a very reliable passer of the ball. The one thing I do have to say about his passing is because his curve is 62, there's certain passes that he's not able to really pull off as good as people with higher curve, and those are like the through balls that curve in behind the defense. He passes the ball very accurately no matter what pass you try to pull off, but there's absolutely no curve to it. So you gotta keep that in mind when you're attempting passes with him. Otherwise, this guy's passing is very, very good, and overall, I gotta give his passing an 8 out of 10. He's definitely a good passer of the ball, and that makes him a little bit more press resistant than other center defensive mids on this game. Speaking of press resistance, we are going to move on to the dribbling category. How does he feel on the ball? And you'll be very surprised. When you use this card, you'll see, yo, this guy is a tank. He's huge. He's 6'4". But in game, he dances on the ball. He's like a ballerina. He's tiptoeing through the midfield. He's actually able to handle himself very, very well for such a tall player. He's actually pretty responsive on the ball. He feels pretty good to turn. As far as his actual dribbling, he does keep the ball very close to his body, and he does have a very, very good ball control to him. The one thing I will say though is if you try to move him through tight areas, you will get dispossessed. It's not because of his dribbling. It's not even because of his agility. It's just the fact that he's 6'4", so he is gonna take big touches at times. He is not the smallest player, so he's not gonna be able to slither through those places in the midfield. However, if you use him properly, you know how to use him, he's a very, very press resistant player, and he's a very, very good center defensive mid on the ball. So overall, I gotta give his agility, not his agility, his dribbling, an 8.5 out of 10. He's one of the best dribblers of the ball that's above 6'2". Next, we're gonna talk about this card's defending. Does he play above his stats? And to make it short, too long didn't read, I would have to say yes. FIFA 20 is just another FIFA where Laurent Blanc is gonna overperform in game. And I think a lot of this is down just to his body type. He's 6'4". He has some of the longest legs I have ever seen in the FIFA in-game model. Him and Vieira have those spider legs, and it's no exaggeration. It really, really helps him in all aspects of the game. His interceptions are only 75, but like I said, his legs are just so long. Anytime the ball's near him, he just seems to get the ball. I think a lot of it is also due to the fact that he does have decent defensive awareness at 82. With the Guardian Chem style, that's boosted to 95. So even though his interceptions aren't that high, he was always in a good position. And like I said, once he's near the ball's his, all right? He's taking that ball with his long legs. His stand tackle is 79. Once again, not the most impressive looking stat, but the fact that he's so big and the fact that his legs are so long really, really helps him going into a challenge. And he feels very reliable tackling wise. He has a very clean tackle on him. And this guy's a very, very annoying center defensive mid to come up against. If you come up against Blanc in the weekend league, you might as well pass away from him because he's gonna come away with that ball. He's a very disruptive force in the midfield, and overall, I gotta give his defending a 9 out of 10. It's actually crazy. Finally, we're gonna talk about his physical, all right? The one major question a lot of you guys at home might have, is 86 stamina enough? Because historically, I've used Blanc and I've always needed to sub Blanc, and I believe this year's is a little bit more of the same, all right? He will last 90 minutes. But if you go into extra time, even if you go into the second half of extra time, you may need to sub him out. 86 stamina, with the amount of running you're probably going to do with this card, just might not be enough to last 120 minutes. His 77 strength, once again, I don't find to be an issue at all. His in-game character is just so huge that it really makes up for his lack of strength. His jumping at 80, like I said, is amazing, being that he's 6'4". He wins everything in the air. And overall, I gotta give his physical an 8 out of 10. All right, guys, so it's time to say what I feel about this card, and I think overall I gotta rate him a 9 out of 10. He's one of the best
center defensive mids I've used on this game. I mean, he is the total package as the stats suggest. He has the pace, he has the shooting ability, he's able to dribble the ball, and because he has the agility, he doesn't get turned as easily as other tall defenders on this game. His defending, like I said, is very, very good in game, and he does have enough strength, he does have enough jumping to hold his own against the bigger players on this game. So if you need a center defensive mid, if you need a center mid even, this guy is going to definitely improve your team by a lot. And the fact that he has the French links, I think really adds to his appeal. So overall, for 14 icon swaps, I think he's definitely worth it. I might be doing him on the RTG. Who knows? I got to try a few more of these players out. But yeah, that's going to be my Laurent Blanc review. Hopefully you guys at home found it helpful in some way, shape, or form. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, later.